हर माता पिता चाहते हैं कि उनके बच्चों को क्वालिटी एजुकेशन मिले और इसी सोच के साथ डीपीएस ने पिछले साल ही शुरुआत की थी कैम्ब्रिज इंटरनेशनल एजुकेशन की और इस बार इसे थोड़ा सा और अपग्रेड किया गया है। यानी नर्सरी से लेकर 6 क्लास तक के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ये एजुकेशन रहने वाली है। लेकिन बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स के दिमाग में अब ये सवाल आ रहा होगा कि क्या इसका करिकुलम थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट रहता है या फिर क्या कुछ खास है, बच्चों को ग्लोबल एक्सपोजर किस तरीके से मिलेगा। तो चलिए सभी सवालों के जवाब जानते हैं कैम्ब्रिज विंग से जो हेड मिस्ट्रेस है निकिता तनीजा, उनसे मिलकर और उनसे बातें कर कर।
So in Cambridge curriculum, the focus is entirely on developing the analytical and the critical thinking of a student. It deviates a lot from rote memorization and goes much more into problem solving and incorporating concepts in real life situations. Also the fact that the child is able to explain the why portion of it instead of just being able to answer the what.
मैम, बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स हैं जो ये पूछना चाह रहे होंगे कि हमारे बच्चे इस चेंज को इजीली हैंडल कर पाएंगे या फिर नहीं, बच्चा न्यू सिस्टम में एडजस्ट कैसे हो पाएगा।
See, let's be very pragmatic that shifting from any curriculum or any board takes a little time. It takes adaptation. It takes a little bit of adjustment. But after running this curriculum for more than a year, we have realized that 80% of the parents feel supported because of the teachers, because of the bridging modules. And the transition usually comes with active learning. When activity and play-based learning are introduced in a curriculum, the child finds it easier to learn that curriculum and adjust to it.
मैम, स्टूडेंट्स के मन में ये भी सवाल रहेगा कि हाउ आर असेसमेंट्स कंडक्टेड इन कैम्ब्रिज स्कूल।
So assessments are does not rely on a single summative assessment or a single summative one-time final exam. It is a series of evaluation and assessments which happens over the year, over the session, through projects, through discussion. We all should know that Cambridge is entirely discussion driven and it is not a one interaction thing that is mostly coming from the teacher's side. So needless to say, because of the varied discussions and the presentations and the projects, the child becomes more confident, and that is how the assessments take place along with a summative assessment at the end of the session.
Ma'am, is Cambridge more difficult than other boards?
Well, that's a myth. It is not that it's more difficult than other boards, but because in India we are used to a single kind of board, either be it the state board or the Indian boards. That is why parent might think that it will be difficult to adapt to a international board, but it is a board that works across 160 countries, deals with children of the same age, and it is designed in a way that is adaptable by a child of every age because it's a pathway. So it is very, very impeccably designed, very immaculately structured, and I don't think one would find it difficult to when they transition into this board.
मैम, बच्चे बाद में इंडियन कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम दे पाएंगे जैसे कि नीट है, जेई है, क्या बच्चे दे सकते हैं?
This is one of a question that we get asked very frequently. Please remember that the Indian competitive examinations are one of a kind examination. They take different kind of will and determination to prepare for it, sheer hard work. So for sitting for an Indian competitive examination, two things must be taken into account: the time and how fast you can analytically think about a question and be able to answer it. All of that is covered in the Cambridge assessments. They are very time oriented, as well as the questions are very, very analytical, very critical in nature. So in fact, it is an advantage in this board to sit for the competitive examination later in the future. We believe, and this board believes, that the preparation needs to be over a period of year than just being a one-time thing.
Everybody is focusing on English. So how does Cambridge support English language development?
So Cambridge comes from the University of Cambridge, which is primarily from the land of the English people, and the medium of instruction is in English. With time, because of the projects, because of the discussion driven classrooms, the child becomes confident enough to execute and articulatively put their thoughts on the table, and that is how the language is enhanced and fluency comes into picture.
Ma'am, what are the career and global opportunities after Cambridge?
So, children who want to pursue, students who want to pursue a career in other countries actually have an advantage, because this is a very, very diverse curriculum wherein children from every section are able to adapt and are a part of it. So, the future options are children can easily write a statement of purpose later in the future for universities which they want to get into. They get an edge because they are able to mingle with people of diverse cultures and nationalities, and also the institutes and the universities they're applying into understand the importance of studying from a Cambridge curriculum, and children do get an edge over it while
बट
getting
शायद मैम
selected.
इससे बच्चे जो हैं इंडियन वैल्यूज इंडियन कल्चर से शायद दूर हो जाएंगे.
Not at all. In fact, to the contrary, what people think is that the Cambridge curriculum has a subject called Global Perspective, which works with children on 3 levels, that is the local, national, and international level. If I have to give an example, speaking about the very recent problem of LPG scarcity in the entire nation, under this, a child is able to understand why the scarcity has happened in the local level and how does it impact everybody on a global level and where is it coming from. So that kind of understanding and the child being able to make that kind of connection is really amazing. So I think that instead of distancing themselves from the Indian roots, from their Indian values, they are in fact able to understand that where is all the local context coming from by connecting it to the international context.
Ma'am, in Cambridge, what kind of teaching methodology is followed?
So in Cambridge, they have a pedagogy which focuses again on discussions, which focuses on projects, on presentation. It's a two-way interaction. The teacher having continuous and consistent discussions with the child and understanding their own ideas, their own perspectives. In Cambridge, it is believed that there is no right or wrong. There is only subjective perspectives. So that is where it comes into picture.
मैम, पेरेंट्स को क्या एक मैसेज देना चाहेंगे? अगर हरियाणा बोर्ड की बात करें, सीबीएसई बोर्ड की बात करें या अदर बोर्ड्स की बात करें, तो कैम्ब्रिज बोर्ड के बारे में एक ब्रीफिंग अगर पेरेंट्स को देनी है, वो आपने बड़ी खूबसूरत तरीके से बताई है, बट उन्हें अंडरस्टैंड किस तरीके से करवाना चाहेंगे?
So I think like any novel or any unprecedented thing that comes into society or that comes amongst us, everybody is very skeptical about whether this board has a future or not. Needless to say, this is the future where we want our children to think critically. We want our children to be problem solvers. We want our children to be resolvers. Instead of just understanding the problem, they should be able to understand that is the solution pragmatic, practical or not, and be able to work on it. So I think that every parent who has any kind of doubt in mind should give this a chance, because this is the future and we need to ready our children for a future tomorrow which is absolutely new. We don't know what's coming, but it's always better to start preparing from
मैम
today.
अभी आपने फ्यूचर की बात कही, फ्यूचर की अगर मैं बात करूँ, ग्लोबल अपॉर्चुनिटीज की बात करूँ, तो वो क्या कुछ रहने वाली है?
Global opportunities include every kind of job that you want to get into. This doesn't limit a child's potential into a single stream or a single field of career, but it gives the child a huge platform to try anything that they want to try, which they want to pursue their career in. It will also create a foundation for the child to begin with and help them understand whether this is something they really want to pursue or not. So global opportunities, I think globally the biggest challenge that we all face is working with a diverse team which is of a different nationality or culture, and this will help us understand, will help the child understand how to work in a team like that and how to bring out the efficiency when you have such a diverse group. So that is where the edge comes from.
मैम, कैम्ब्रिज, मॉन्टेसरी और किंडरगार्टन में मैम फर्क क्या है मैम, प्लीज बताइए.
So the difference between curriculums like Montessori or Reggio Emilia is that these are only designed for your early years or for kindergarten. It's not a pathway unlike Cambridge. Cambridge is a pathway curriculum which basically prepares the child in the early years or in the kindergarten years to transition, to help them transition very smoothly into primary or lower secondary or higher secondary and further on. So although Montessori is an activity and a play-based curriculum, it is not bounded by subjects. It's a free curriculum, but in Cambridge we have the foundational subjects which will later on help the child diversify into any kind